Hey friends, welcome to the February edition of my grocery shopping haul for 2023. I'm Siobhan Mundy, this is Filled to Overflowing, and I help families create great tasting food that everyone loves while still saving money at the checkout. So let's get into it. I think my bulk shopping is finally starting to pay off. I didn't really need much this month. I'm not sure if I attributed that to a development of our cooking and eating as a family, or just that we didn't need to top up on that much for this month. So as I mentioned a few months ago, I started using these reusable bulk food bags and they have been great. I wouldn't store food in them for a long period of time, but they're great to use to get from the shop to home to then move into another container. Some food is okay, but not all. So we bought cornflakes. My kids are still on a cornflake buzz, so that's what they're eating at the moment. Couscous, Israeli couscous. We like the big couscous. Banana chips. And one of my kids was with me at the time and they wanted to try dried kiwi fruit, so we bought some of that. I've actually also bought some raw peanuts because I'm going to plant them and see how they grow. I know it might be getting a little bit late in the season. We haven't really had summer this year, and these weren't in stock before now. So I bought them now, and we'll see how we go. And I've bought a body wash bar this month from Ethique just to see how it goes. I'm not sure what it will be like, but we'll give it a go. And tahini, which we use quite a bit of now. I didn't use it before, but now I use it quite a bit in dressings, and also some red curry paste. Always good to have on hand. So as I said, I didn't really need much from the bulk food shop this month, so that's about where it's at. And then I moved on to the fruit and veggie shop. Okay, now usually you'll see my table kind of get smaller as I start putting things away in between, but actually I didn't buy that much this month. And I haven't really sat down and analysed my shopping yet and where all my money was spent and exactly what the total is, but it's looking a lot less than I have done in previous months. So we'll see how we go at that point. But I do notice that everything fits on the table today. Kumara and carrots. I did need some more ginger, and I was buying ginger in the jars already crushed, but I just decided that I wanted to go back to more of its original form. So if I'm using ginger now, it's just grated or chopped. Carrots, as I said, onions, we needed more onions this month. Most of the other food that you see here is just for this week. Now, my kids are on a celery buzz at the moment as well. They eat celery with peanut butter, especially at dinner time and sometimes in their lunchbox. So we're actually going through one celery a week. And if that keeps up, I'm going to have to grow a whole lot of celery coming up in the next few months. So I'll quickly go through what I bought for the week. It does change week to week depending on what meals we're going to have and, of course, what I've got available in the garden as well. So as I said, celery, broccoli. We've decided that broccoli is something that we'd like to eat throughout the year. So I found a summer broccoli variety that I'm going to grow, which takes 8 to 10 weeks. And then there's a winter variety, which takes 16 to 20 weeks. And that will mean that we've got broccoli in summer and winter. Avocados, the ones that I've ordered haven't quite arrived for the month, so I just bought some fresh. Bananas and a rock melon. As I said, I had kids with me this time, so one of them requested the rock melon. Apples and oranges, some nectarines, some peaches. Obviously, summer fruit is available, so we take advantage of that when it is. Coriander, and then just extra things on top of that I can get from the fruit and veggie shop that I don't have to get from the supermarket. Some coconut milk. I always get my tin tomatoes from there now, hopefully, and depending on how this season goes, because my tomatoes are not amazing this year, but hopefully I'm going to be able to can enough so that I don't have to buy any throughout the year. And then some rice, which I actually forgot to get from the bulk food shop. and breadcrumbs because my bread isn't quite keeping up to the amount of breadcrumbs that we used at the moment, so I just decided to top them up a little bit. Which is the great thing about having food available, is that you don't have to have everything all the time. Sometimes you do need the support of other people, and that's where it's great to be able to go to the shop and get it from the person that provides it to you. Wouldn't you know it, I just recorded all of that video without the microphone on. So we're going to go through it again. So toilet paper and paper towels, that's obviously something that I'm not going to be able to get rid of in a hurry. So they're always going to be there. I did mention, I think, at the beginning of this last section, that I am thinking about giving myself a challenge from next month for the whole season, so for the whole 3 months, of buying all of the food at once. Because what I've noticed is that what I'm buying now, I am at the point where I could buy enough to keep us going for that 3 months, and I wouldn't need to go back, apart from the fresh fruit and vegetables, which is, a half-hour trip each week. And that should get less as well as I get the garden pumping and all the food available there. We'll see. Maybe I'll do that. So we'll continue starting from over this end. So rubbish bags, toilet cleaner. I haven't found a natural or homemade alternative that I really am happy with yet. I'll keep looking, but as of this point in time, I'm still buying toilet cleaner. Spray olive oil. I like that in muffin trays, sometimes baking trays as well, but I do use it as an alternative to the spray canola oil. I think it's a much better option. Tortillas, we have been making them ourselves, but I'm looking at this month and this term and thinking about how busy it is and wondering if I'm going to have time to make a whole lot to store. So I've just got them as backup. Tacos, we're having tacos twice this month. My family like the boats a lot better than they do the actual tacos. There's not too much difference in price, but I do also prefer the softness. I really enjoy my Feijoa drink, so I've bought enough to get through this month, maybe a little bit more. Steve loves his wine. That's something that I'd really like to make myself. Sometime in the future, you'll probably see that we're making our own wine. Kombucha, again, on the list of things in the near future that we're going to make ourselves, but one thing at a time. And these are all things that as I go to the supermarket and I purchase these things, I'm always thinking about what I could make myself and what the alternatives to them are. It's a really useful thing to do because I believe that it's had a big effect on what I buy, what I spend, and how we eat. It's changed it completely. We've got burger buns. I've got a whole lot of burger patties in the freezer still from the beast that we bought. We're slowly getting through them, but there's only so many burgers that I can eat every month. Bacon. Last month we went through 6 kilos of bacon. Again, we've changed the way we eat slightly, so I have noticed that I do need to buy more. Obviously, that's a lot of bacon to buy, and it is quite expensive, but it hasn't really affected our shopping budget much this month because of what else I'm buying. So as I said, I haven't really sat down to analyze everything yet, and you will get, if you're on my email list, you will get the email in the next week or so, I think, with the breakdown, the analysis of what I've spent and where I spent it. So if you want to see that as well, make sure that you subscribe to my email list. I'll put the link in the description so you can do that there. Mozzarella cheese. Sometimes the kids like to do pizzas, so mozzarella cheese is great for that. That is something that I can start making myself now. So the place that we order our milk from, I'm going to get some raw milk, and we'll see how that goes. Butter. I used all the stores of our homemade butter for the lunchbox baking that I did. So I have pretty much done a year's worth of lunchbox baking for the kids. and I won't need to do any more. But what it did mean is that the stash that I had collected of homemade butter, I've used that all. But it means that I can start building that up again. And once it gets to my next time of doing the homemade or doing the lunch boxes again, it means that I will have a stash to use with more to use going on forwards after that. Cheese, we needed to top up that. Obviously, we have had some baking done, a lot of baking done, so I've used a lot of the cheese that we had, so I just needed to top that up. The dog eats rice and chicken a lot for her food now, so chop chop chicken it is. She quite likes that. Tin foil and baking paper. I don't use a lot of tin foil, but it is good to have there sometimes. Salsa, we have a meal this month with that are like little mini meatballs that had salsa in them. So not meatballs, meatloaves. And salsa is something that I'm planning on making myself. Again, depending on the tomato harvest, we'll see how that goes. Sorry about that little break there. I could hear chickens. One of the chickens has broken free, so I'm going to have to sort that out. Walnuts. The bulk food shop did not have any walnuts, but we are eating a lot of those at the moment. And capers, we also use capers quite a bit, so just topping up on them. Some lime juice, some cannellini beans. Now I've used them in a salad recipe recently with cherry tomatoes and the beans, some green beans and a couple of other things. It was really nice, so I'll share that recipe at some point soon. Beans, my husband, Steve really likes his beans at the moment. When we go out for dinner, the kids are quite excited because they get to eat food that we wouldn't normally eat. So I buy these cordon bleu toppers and the kids cook them themselves. Our oldest is getting pretty good in the kitchen. He's 11 and so he can manage all of this himself. Daniel likes his frozen vegetables. He loves his frozen peas and corn. So I still do need to buy quite a bit of that. They were on special, 2 for $5, so I bought a few of them, more than I needed. And then the roasties are for the meals when we go out for dinner. Now I have noticed that Daniel, the picky eater, basically white and yellow foods, he has got to the point now where he will eat without fuss his little bit of carrot and cucumber that I put on his plate. With peanut butter, mind you, but he's still eating it. So he's 8, so it's taken 8 years, but I feel like there's a little bit of progress happening there, and I'm really quite excited. So he does like his nuts and seeds, like he'll eat toasted walnuts in his lunchbox. He'll take some pumpkin seeds with him, and it's really good to see that there's a little bit of development there, so stay tuned. And then the only meat I really needed to buy this month was chicken thighs and chicken breasts, and then I just need to pop out to the butcher and grab some lamb, and then we've got everything else for the month. So as I said, the amount that I bought this month is definitely less. I did spend less than I have done in previous months. I do feel like we've taken a step forward, another step forward in our eating. More progress has been made this month, a noticeable amount than in previous months, and I'm looking forward to seeing how that changes again. As I said, I'll be sending out that analysis in the next week, so make sure you're on the email list so you get that too. And on that note, make sure you subscribe to the channel and click the little bell so that you get notified when there's a new video available. And you can also follow me on Facebook and Instagram, which is linked below. So thanks for joining me today. It's been great to talk to you about what I have bought again this month. I know when I compare from where I started doing these videos to now, it is a lot different. And yeah, if you go back and have a look, you can see the differences in the purchases. So again, thanks for joining me today. I look forward to doing this again next month with you and sharing my supermarket purchases. So thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time.